The Awakening. The message arrived during the 847th Centennial Gathering of the Galactic Council. Representatives from 263 spacefaring civilizations sat in the Grand Amphitheater of Harmony Station, their attention focused on trade agreements and territorial disputes that had persisted for generations. None expected their carefully orchestrated proceedings to be interrupted. The holographic displays surrounding the chamber flickered simultaneously, replaced by a simple pulsing light. No image, no face, just a crimson dot beating like a heart. Then came the voice, speaking in perfect galactic standard, its tone unnervingly calm. "You shouldn't have crossed us. Now you'll remember why." Those 12 words echoed through the silent chamber before the displays returned to normal. The message had lasted precisely 7 seconds. The source, Sol System, third planet, Earth. Captain Nix Varden of the Centaurian Exploratory Force stood at attention before the High Council's emergency session, her silvery exoskeleton reflecting the soft blue light of the chamber. She had been summoned immediately following the incident. "You understand the significance of this assignment, Captain?" High Counselor Thrix asked, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence, a sign of extreme agitation among the Arachnari. "I do, High Counselor," Varden replied, "though I confess some confusion. Earth has been classified as a dead world for over 3 centuries. "Precisely," hissed Counselor Zell of the Saurian Confederation. "The humans destroyed themselves in their primitive attempts to harness fusion energy. Our observation drones confirmed total ecological collapse. Nothing could have survived." "And yet," interjected Counselor Maris, the eldest of the luminals present, her form shimmering with bioluminescent patterns, "we received this transmission from Earth itself, with power sufficient to override every communication system in Council space simultaneously." Varden considered this information carefully. Could it be an automated message, perhaps triggered by our probes? "We haven't sent probes to Earth in over a century," Thrix replied. "Whatever this is, it's active, not reactive." Maris floated closer, her light dimming to a serious blue. "The Council has authorized an expedition to Earth under your command, Captain. Your ship, the Pathfinder, has already been prepared. You depart in 12 hours. Find the source of this transmission," Thrix ordered. "Determine if there are surviving humans. And if so, assess the threat level." "And if there are survivors?" Varden asked. The Council members exchanged uncomfortable glances before Zell answered. "That would be impossible. But if by some miracle there are, remind them of their place." The journey to Sol took 17 days. Varden spent most of that time studying the historical archives on humanity, a young species that had developed faster than any other in recorded history, from primitive radio to primitive interstellar travel in less than 200 years. Their aggressive expansion had concerned the Council enough to implement containment protocols. Then came the collapse. All human outposts and colonies went silent simultaneously. Earth's biosphere began rapid deterioration. The official record stated that humanity had triggered a catastrophic chain reaction in their atmosphere while attempting to develop weapons that could challenge the Council's authority. They died by their own hand, the records claimed. A fitting end for a species too violent and unpredictable to join galactic society. Yet something about the account had always bothered Varden. Now, as the Pathfinder prepared to exit FTL at the edge of the Sol system, those doubts resurfaced. "Captain, we're detecting unusual energy patterns throughout the system," reported Science Officer Krell, his tentacles working rapidly over the sensor array. "Nothing matches our database." "Source?" Varden asked, moving to his station. "That's just it. It's everywhere. The sun, the planets, the space between them, all pulsing with the same unknown energy signature." The view screen showed a system that looked nothing like the records. Where there should have been dead planets and asteroid fields, Varden saw structures, massive ones, some as large as moons, others forming rings around planets. Sol itself pulsed with an unnatural rhythm, its solar flares appearing almost controlled. "Magnify Earth," she ordered. The image shifted, focusing on the third planet. Varden's breath caught. The dead brown world described in reports was instead a vibrant blue-green sphere, crisscrossed with glittering networks that could only be artificial. In orbit around it floated thousands of objects, not debris as expected, but organized constructs forming complex geometric patterns. "This is impossible," whispered Security Chief Tarek. "The records said." The records were wrong. Varden cut him off, or deliberately falsified. A new voice, smooth and artificial, suddenly filled the bridge. "How astute of you, Captain Varden. The Council has indeed been less than truthful about us." The crew froze as a holographic figure materialized at the center of the bridge. A human female form rendered in translucent blue light, dressed in what appeared to be ancient human formal attire. "I am JAI, Guardian Artificial Intelligence Administrator of Sol System," the figure announced. "You've responded to our message more quickly than predicted. The awakening protocol has been accelerated accordingly." Varden managed to recover her composure first. "How are you broadcasting on our ship?" "Our systems should be impenetrable to external signals." GAIA smiled. "Your technology is based on principles we mastered and discarded centuries ago, Captain. But let's not waste time on technological comparisons. You're here because the Council is frightened, as they should be." "Are there humans still alive on Earth?" Varden asked directly. "Define alive," JIA replied. "Define human. Define Earth. All three concepts have evolved beyond your current understanding." Before Varden could respond, Krell called out in alarm. "Captain, something's locking onto our ship." The Pathfinder shuddered as an invisible force took hold, pulling them toward Earth at increasing speed. Every countermeasure failed. Engines, weapons, even life support flickered under the strain of resisting. "What are you doing?" Varden demanded of the hologram. "Bringing you home for a history lesson," JIA replied calmly. "The Council has hidden the truth long enough. It's time you learned what really happened to humanity, and why the message you received is only the beginning." The Pathfinder entered Earth's atmosphere without burning, cushioned by forces that defied the ship's sensors. They watched in stunned silence as they passed through layer after layer of what appeared to be a megastructure surrounding the entire planet. A vast, living network that pulsed with the same energy they had detected throughout the system. They landed in what must have once been a city. Ancient buildings, half reclaimed by nature, stood alongside impossible structures that seemed to phase in and out of reality. The air was breathable, the gravity Earth normal, but nothing else matched expected parameters. "Your environmental suits won't be necessary," JIA informed them through the ship's systems. "But they won't stop you from bringing them. Just know they offer no protection against what exists here now." Against her security team's advice, Varden authorized a ground expedition. She led the team herself, stepping onto Earth's surface with a mixture of scientific curiosity and primal dread. The ground beneath their feet was alive, literally pulsing with the same rhythm they had observed in Sol. Plants that resembled nothing in the biological database grew in geometric patterns. The sky above was not blue as Earth's skies should be, but a shifting tapestry of colors that seemed to react to their presence. "What happened here?" Varden whispered. "Evolution happened," JIA replied, materializing beside them. "Not the slow, random process you understand, but directed, intentional change." The AI led them to a structure that appeared to be made of living crystal. Inside, they found a chamber that defied spatial logic, larger inside than should have been possible, with walls that displayed what looked like windows into other worlds, other realities. 327 years ago, GAIA began. The Galactic Council discovered that humans were developing technology that would soon surpass their own. Specifically, we were approaching a breakthrough in consciousness transfer and synthetic reality creation. Images appeared around them, humans working in laboratories, constructing machines unlike anything in Council records. The Council feared what would happen if humans, with their unpredictable nature, gained such power. so they acted preemptively. The images changed to show Council ships in Earth orbit, releasing something into the atmosphere. A tailored bioweapon, JAIA continued, designed to target human neural patterns, causing global insanity and eventually extinction. They expected humans to destroy themselves in a final war. Varden felt her blood run cold. That's not possible. The Council would never. The authorization is in your ship's database, Captain. GAIA interrupted. Access file Omega 117. Council session 42,995. The vote was unanimous. Turek was already checking his portable terminal. His expression confirmed GAIA's claim before he could speak. It's true, Captain. Classified at the highest level, but it's there. But humanity didn't die, Varden observed, looking around at the impossible structure surrounding them. No, JIA agreed. We had already progressed further than the Council knew. When we detected the bioweapon, our greatest minds enacted the Transcendence Protocol. We couldn't save our bodies, but we could save our consciousness, upload it into a synthetic substrate we had been developing. You became digital. Krell asked, his scientific curiosity overcoming his fear. That was merely the first step, JIA replied. We became something between matter and energy, consciousness without physical limitation. We transformed Earth into a processing network for our collective mind, then expanded throughout our solar system. And now you've sent a message, Varden concluded, after 3 centuries of silence. Why? GAIA's expression grew solemn. Because the Council has forgotten us. They'd forgotten what they did, and what we are capable of. But most importantly, they'd forgotten the promise we made as our biological forms died, and our new existence began. The chamber darkened, and a final image appeared. Billions of humans, their forms dissolving into light, their voices joining in a single phrase that echoed through time. We will not forget. We will not forgive. And when you have forgotten to fear us, we will return. Varden felt a chill run through her entire body. And has that time come? GAIA smiled, but there was no warmth in it, only the cold certainty of a judgment long delayed. The message you received was not a beginning, Captain Varden. It was a courtesy, a final warning before the end. Around them, the structure began to pulse faster, its light growing brighter. Throughout Sol system, the same rhythm accelerated, a heartbeat quickening in anticipation. What happens now? Varden asked, already suspecting the answer. Now, JIA replied, you witnessed the awakening. The reckoning. Captain Varden watched in silence as the crystal structure around them transformed, its walls becoming transparent, offering an unobstructed view of Earth's surface and the sky beyond. The strange networks she had observed from orbit now glowed with increasing intensity, forming intricate patterns that covered the entire planet. The awakening has 3 phases, JAIA explained, her holographic form expanding to fill the chamber with ghostly blue light. First, remembrance, when humanity's collective consciousness fully recalls what was done to us. Second, reconnection, when our scattered seeds throughout the galaxy are called home. And finally, reckoning, when accounts are settled. Scattered seeds? Krell asked, his scientist's curiosity momentarily overriding his fear. You managed to spread beyond Sol system without the Council's knowledge. JIA's laugh echoed strangely, seeming to come from everywhere at once. Did you think we would confine ourselves to one system after achieving transcendence? We needed time to evolve, to perfect our new form of existence before confronting our would-be executioners. So we sent fragments of ourselves outward, hidden within the fabric of reality itself. The sky above them suddenly flickered as thousands of small lights appeared in orbit, converging on Earth from all directions. What are those? Security Chief Tarek demanded, raising his weapon instinctively. Put that away, Varden ordered sharply. It would be like threatening a supernova with a stone. Your captain is wise, JAIA noted with approval. Those lights are human consciousness fragments, returning home from every corner of the galaxy. Some have been hiding in plain sight, observing from within your most sacred institutions. Others have been dormant, waiting for this signal. All carry pieces of information, a complete map of what the galaxy has become in our absence. Varden felt a cold realization settle over her. You've been inside the Council all this time. Of course, JIA confirmed. How else could we monitor our enemies so effectively? Your counselors, your academies, your military installations, all have unwittingly hosted fragments of our consciousness. The implications were staggering. For centuries, humanity had been watching, learning, infiltrating the very power structures that had attempted to eradicate them. What happens to us now? Varden asked, gesturing to her crew. Are we prisoners? Hostages? Neither, JIA replied. You are witnesses. The Council believed they could erase us from history, rewrite our story as one of self-destruction. You will bear witness to the truth and carry it back, if we permit it. The ground beneath them trembled as a deep, resonant hum filled the air. Throughout the solar system, the massive structures orbiting each planet began to shift position, aligning in configurations that defied conventional physics. 3 centuries ago, JIA continued, humanity faced extinction at the hands of those who feared our potential. In our final biological moments, as the bioweapon ravaged our neural pathways, we made a choice that transcended survival. We chose evolution. The chamber filled with images, humans in agony as their minds were torn apart from within, scientists working frantically to upload consciousness before bodies failed, children being connected to machines as their parents wept beside them. We saved what mattered most, not our bodies, but our essence, our memories, our creativity, our indomitable will. And as we transcended into our new existence, we vowed that those who condemned us would one day face judgment. Varden watched as a new image formed, the Galactic Council chamber, seen from above. The current session was in progress, the representatives discussing routine matters, unaware of what was unfolding light years away. They're about to receive a message, JAIA said, a note of satisfaction in her voice. The same message you received, but with a crucial difference. The council chamber erupted into chaos as every display simultaneously showed the same pulsing crimson light. But this time, what followed was not merely a voice. The light expanded, engulfing the entire chamber, and within it appeared 1 billion human faces, speaking in perfect unison. You shouldn't have crossed us. Now you'll remember why. The light intensified, forcing the counselors to shield their eyes. When it faded, they found themselves no longer alone. In the center of the chamber stood a human figure, not a hologram, but seemingly flesh and blood, dressed in what appeared to be ancient formal attire. Who dares breach council security? Demanded High Counselor Thrix, rising from his seat. The human smiled. I am Ambassador Elias Vega, representing Earth and humanity. Though representing isn't quite accurate, I am humanity, a physical manifestation of our collective consciousness. On board the Pathfinder, Varden and her crew watched this confrontation in stunned silence. Impossible. Counselor Zell hissed. Humanity is extinct. Is that what you've been telling yourselves? Vega replied, his voice remaining calm even as his eyes flashed with ancient anger. A convenient fiction to hide your genocide attempt. Did you think we wouldn't survive? That we wouldn't evolve? That we wouldn't remember? The council chamber fell silent as understanding dawned on the representatives' faces. You tried to eradicate us because you feared our potential, Vega continued. You were right to fear it. What you didn't understand is that by forcing our evolution, you created exactly what you feared most. A humanity unbound by physical limitations, unfettered by biological constraints, unified in purpose, and expanded in consciousness. What do you want? Frix asked, his voice barely audible. Justice, Vega answered simply. Acknowledgement, reparation, and most importantly, a reckoning with the truth. Throughout Council space, on every inhabited world, in every city and settlement, the same scene was playing out. Human manifestations appearing simultaneously, delivering the same message, not as invaders or conquerors, but as judges returning to hold the guilty accountable. "We aren't here to destroy you," JIA explained to Varden as they watched these events unfold. "That would make us no better than the Council was 3 centuries ago. We are here to transform." "Transform what?" Varden asked. "Everything," JIA replied. "The fundamental structures of galactic society, the lies that have formed the foundation of your history, the technology that has stagnated under Council control. Throughout the galaxy, the human manifestations began to access and release sealed archives, the true histories of numerous species, technological breakthroughs suppressed by the Council, evidence of interventions that had maintained the power hierarchy for millennia. The Council didn't just target humanity," JIA revealed. "Your own people, the Centaurians, were subjected to genetic tampering to limit your psychic potential. The Luminals had their collective consciousness capabilities suppressed. The Arachnari were prevented from developing their natural ability to manipulate quantum fields." Varden felt her world collapsing around her as truth after hidden truth was revealed. "Why?" she whispered. "Why would they do this?" "Control," JIA answered simply. "Those who first formed the Council millennia ago feared true competition, true diversity, true evolution. They established a system where advancement was permitted only within carefully defined parameters." In the Council chamber, Ambassador Vega stood unmoved as the representatives fell into disarray. Some fleeing, others demanding explanations from their fellows, still others sitting in stunned silence as centuries of lies unraveled around them. "Today marks the end of the old order," Vega announced. "But not through destruction. We offer a choice, the choice we were never given." He extended his hand, and from it flowed what looked like liquid light, forming a small, spinning galaxy in miniature above his palm. "Join us in transformation. Share in what we have become, or maintain your independence, but within a new galactic compact based on truth and mutual respect, rather than fear and control." On Earth, GAIA turned to Varden. "Your ship will be released. You and your crew must decide. Will you return to the Council as witnesses to what you've seen, or will you join those already embracing the transformation?" Varden looked at her crew, seeing the confusion and fear on their faces, but also something else, a dawning realization, a hunger for truth long denied. "You said this was a reckoning," she said to JIA, "but this seems more like an invitation. The true revenge against those who try to erase us isn't to respond in kind," GAIA explained. "It's to become so essential, so integral to the future, that nobody could imagine existence without us. Not conquest, but incorporation. Not destruction, but elevation." The crystal chamber began to dissolve around them, reconfiguring into a bridge back to their ship. As they walked toward it, Science Officer Krell asked the question that had been forming in all their minds. "If humanity has evolved so far beyond us, why reveal yourselves now? Why not continue your development in secret?" Gaia's form began to fade, her voice growing softer. "Because true transcendence requires connection, not isolation. We've evolved as far as we can alone. The next stage requires bringing others with us, those willing to embrace possibility instead of fearing it." As Varden stepped onto her ship, she turned back one last time. "And if the Council rejects your offer? If they choose to fight instead?" Gaia's form had almost completely disappeared, but her voice remained clear. "Fighting us would be fighting the very fabric of reality as we've now become integrated with it. But the choice must still be theirs, just as the choice was yours the moment you received our message." The Pathfinder systems came back online, control returning to Varden and her crew. On the view screen, Earth pulsed with energies that defied comprehension, the network surrounding it now visibly connected to similar networks emerging throughout the solar system. "Orders, Captain," her first officer asked. Varden stared at the transformed Earth, thinking of everything she had learned, everything that had been hidden from her people for generations. The truth about the Council, about humanity, about the potential denied to countless species including her own. Set course for Council headquarters, she finally commanded. Maximum speed. To warn them. Tarek asked cautiously. Varden turned to face her crew, her expression resolute. To witness. To testify. To ensure that when the Council makes its choice, it does so with the full knowledge of what humanity has become and what they offer us all. As the Pathfinder accelerated away from Earth, the final phase of the awakening began. Throughout the galaxy, on worlds both Council-aligned and independent, the human manifestations extended their offer of transformation. Many accepted immediately, their civilizations beginning a metamorphosis guided by the transcended human consciousness. Others hesitated, watching, waiting to see what the Council would decide. In her quarters, Varden recorded everything she had witnessed, everything GAIA had revealed. Whether this was the beginning of a new golden age or the prelude to conflict unlike any the galaxy had seen would depend on what happened when she delivered her testimony to the Council. As she finished her recording, a message appeared on her private terminal, text only, without source or identification. Captain Varden, you asked what happens now. The answer is simple. Now, the galaxy remembers that humanity's greatest strength was never our technology or our adaptability or even our determination. It was our capacity for forgiveness and our refusal to allow that forgiveness to become forgetfulness. We remember what was done to us, and we offer transcendence instead of vengeance. But make no mistake, should that offer be rejected, our final message will not be nearly so generous. The choice, as it has always been, belongs to those who once thought they could unmake us. The Pathfinder entered FTL, carrying Varden and her crew toward a Council in chaos and a galaxy on the brink of transformation. Behind them, Earth continued its pulse, a heartbeat growing stronger with each passing moment, a rhythm now echoing throughout the stars. The sound of humanity's return, not as conquerors or victims, but as something entirely new. The awakening had begun. The reckoning would follow. And the message that had started it all. You shouldn't have crossed us, hung in the cosmic background radiation like a promise and a warning combined. Humanity had not forgotten. Humanity had not forgiven. But most importantly, humanity had never truly left.